It's the name of my boat, Buckets.
Buckets. What we get.
Not the only transfer we got from Florida. Keith Stone, too. Remember that.
Everybody who watches his show on a regular basis knows my love of the stretch four.
You know, we all make mistakes. He might have made one going to
It's
Tallahassee.
mercy if y'all don't know. Dribble to the left, cross over to the right. Hurricane to the game, many buckets for the night. Matt with the pick and roll, Melissa with the give and go. This Shally-oo, hoodie girl dunking in the hole. Check the scoreboard, this what we fall for. Peep the gameplay, they want an encore. Yeah, overtime for another round. It's buckets out the buckets, baby. You're out of time. It's buckets. What it is, homie, it's buckets. Woo! We get buckets. Yeah, baby, buckets.
I have no shame.
I know. That's the problem.
You guys are awesome.
What up, everyone? Welcome to this postseason edition of Buckets. I'm here with Vish. Matt is unavailable tonight, but what's up, Vish?
Nothing much. It's tournament eve for the women, so it'll be an early tip for them tomorrow.
The men are on their way to Dallas. They got 2 more regular season games left, but the women start ACC tournament play tomorrow, and the first day of the tournament, it's the 12-13 matchup against Stanford. Before we get into that, though, shout out to Dan Berry and Josh, 2 of our usuals. Happy March.
Yep.
Happy Tuesday.
Josh. Josh is at most of the women's games. He sits a section
Yeah,
over from us.
Josh came to sit with us.
Josh is a friend of the program and friends of the women's program. Like, let's be real. Like,
it's
always
always
a lot
nice
of people.
It's always
go to
nice to
all
meet
those games,
people
so.
that are in our chat on a regular basis. So, we're gonna break down the tournament and talk about the matchup against Stanford. But real quick, before we do that, Shay, our very own center, was named ACC All First Team, or First Team All ACC, however you want to say that today. So congrats to her. It's the first time we've had an All ACC First Team player since 2018 and 2019. Can you pronounce that name? I'm really bad at pronouncing some of these names. Beatrice
Montpremier.
Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Okay. So
These are
she
legends
joins
of the sport, man.
Yeah, she joins a list which includes Tamara James, Raquana Williams, Shanice Johnson, Stephanie Yederstrom. Always loved that name, and Adria Motley as well. So really, really good company. A couple of the 2 of those names are in the rafters. Tamara James is Shanice in the rafters?
Shanice, I believe, is up there as well. Yes.
Yeah, Shanice and Tamara are in the rafters. Yeah.
And Raquana Williams is a multiple WNBA All-Star and world champion. So I think she won MVP of the finals one year, if I recall correctly. So yeah, that is an illustrious group to join.
Yeah, and rightfully so. She averaged 16 and 10 this year, so she averaged a double-double. We've talked about her a lot on this show, how, you know, our offense really revolved around her, and she was our best free throw shooter as well this year, which when you can get that from your 6'6" center, that's you know, invaluable to the team. So congratulations to her. That's a big deal. Obviously, you know, we wish the team would have won more this year, but, you know, progress. We made the ACC tournament this year. Last year we were sitting at home at this time. So some progress. So they do play Stanford tomorrow. We actually did play Stanford earlier this year, last month, actually, not too long ago, February 19th, we played Stanford. Why is this closed? Okay. And we won all these freaking pop-ups on Stat Broadcast, I swear. We won 66-51. I was looking back, trying to remind myself of this game. And this was a game, it was close to the first quarter. We were up by 1 point. And then in the second quarter, we kind of were up like 6-9. And we kind of just kept them at an arm's length for most of the rest of the game. But this was a game where we pretty much relied on our starters. everyone played over 30 minutes except Natalie Wetzel, who played 25, and then Osho played about 15, and then we had a few off the bench that played anywhere from 5 to 9 minutes. But it was our starters were the only ones that scored, and they all scored in double figures. So a rematch of that game. They always say
we should call out that rematch was necessitated because of what was probably the worst performance we've seen in about 20 years around these parts on Sunday against Georgia Tech. Yeah. There was
Miami went into the last game of the season on a 4-game win streak, and they played in Atlanta against Georgia Tech, and it's probably one of the worst performances. Well, the worst performance this year, but probably one of the worst performances I've seen out of a women's team in general in a while. We lost by 30. There's really not much to say about it. The team just
there are some implications, right? So the Canes could not have gotten by, but they could have gotten up to 10th, which would mean they were playing Wake Forest, who is a much easier opponent. Stanford is a bubble team. By losing to Georgia Tech, just by losing them, period, Canes fell from 10th down to 12th. And now, Stanford overall has a better overall record, tied with the Canes in the ACC. As Melissa said, the Canes handled them pretty well in the first matchup, but that is a significantly more difficult matchup than Wake Forest would have been. So it's a pretty big blunder, given how well the team was playing and just how, Georgia Tech scored the first 7 points of the game, and then the Canes just never responded, never showed up. It kept getting worse and worse. Some of the turnovers were just handing them the ball, literally. It was some of the most ridiculous basketball I've ever seen. And then, this is a team that has gone through at points in games this year, those stretches of not playing well, and then at least responded within, I'm talking about within games. There's big comebacks against Virginia Tech on the road, against SMU on the road. So, even if they're behind going into the half, okay, they'll probably come out in the second half and show a little bit of something, maybe not win the game, but at least put up a fight. And what we got was the opposite of that. So it was, I believe they lost the first. It was 25-9 or something. It was pathetic.
It was kind of going back to some of those losses that we had, where it's double-digit turnovers, not getting to the line, shooting over 23s and not making anything. One of our best games I thought we played this season is when we only took 10 threes. We made 7 of 10 of them. We got to the line a lot, shot well from the line, and had a better shooting percentage. The Georgia Tech game, we shot 30% from the field. We were 4 of 21 from 3 and only got to the line 5 times.
Yeah, I think part of that was just as things continued to fall apart. Yeah, but overall, just there was no competitive response. You're down. Look, you lose the first quarter 26-12. One player on Georgia Tech had 18 points, so you're losing to one player after the first quarter. They come out in the second quarter.
She ended up having
that as well. Yeah, and she's first team All ACC. Also, she's a fantastic player. So that was like her third 30-point game of the year. I think only her and Hannah Hidalgo have that many in the ACC. So this can happen, but then you go lose the next quarter. You're down 21 at half. You're thinking, all right, let's see a little bit of a response. No, you lose the third quarter by 16. This
25-9.
Yeah, this is just not really acceptable play. I don't know what that was. There was also, we saw that Simone and Meredith weren't on the bench. Melissa pointed this out to me, that Jay Lucas said there was a bug going around the facilities, and they all share the same facilities. So very likely they were under the weather. Maybe some other players were playing also under the weather, but actually made the trip and tried to play. But that was a disaster performance. And we hadn't really talked a lot about this because I feel like it bottomed out when the Canes were, 4-9 in conference, won 4 in a row, played themselves back onto the bubble. And had they won that, Georgia Tech, not Georgia Tech, but Stanford and Cal are on the bubble. Some projects have them barely in, barely out. The Canes won that game to get to 500 in ACC play, having beat both those teams, and then you get Wake Forest, you win that, maybe pull one upset off. You can start having a conversation there. And
I had seen a bracketology where we were in the second group, like the second 4 out.
Yeah, but then you go and lose by 30, and the 30 was generous because we won the last quarter after Georgia Tech emptied their bench. It was senior day; they were enjoying themselves. Made sure that all the seniors were individually subbed out. Doing that, they mentioned that they only had 8 players in total, and they had like 4 seniors. They had to keep rotating them in to make sure they all got it. That was how bad the game was. They could score around that much.
It was deja vu of the Cal game last year.
Yeah, except in that case, the Cal was a top 25 team. Georgia Tech is 13-17.
Yeah,
like there's just no excuse for that. So
it was bad.
Yeah,
and like Josh said, like getting slaughtered headed into ACC tournament play. With a coaching staff, like besides Fitz, like we didn't make the ACC tournament last year. So this is new for our coaching staff, new for all of our players, because none of these players, we only had one player that played last year, still left on the team. And again, didn't make the ACC tournament. So this is all new for pretty much everybody except Coach Fitz. And so you have that 4-game momentum, you're playing well, and then to just go and just shit the bed, it's pretty bad. So you hope the team can bounce back and can beat a team that they've already beaten. It's hard to do that, and then you go in and you hope you win that game, and then you get to play Notre Dame, which we didn't lose to them too badly when we played them, but we'll see what happens.
I mean,
we'll cross that bridge if we get to it.
That game was the beginning of Turnover Fest 2026, which we then were played with for that, I believe, and I think I'll had like 10 steals. Yeah, 10 steals in that game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, and some of them, look, she's the ACC player of the year. She's fantastic, but
yeah,
some of it was us literally like, here, Hannah, you want this? We don't want it, so you take it.
Honestly, you just hate ending the season that way, because you have like you're 4-9 in ACC play and things look grim, and you pull off this, this great 4-game stretch. You're feeling good about how you've kind of turned the season around. You're not expecting to make the tournament, but you're like, all right, momentum into ACC tournament play, maybe get a winner and get a win, maybe upset in the second round, and at least consider on the bubble, and then get into the WBIT, make some noise, and to lose the last game of the season like that, it's tough. It's tough. So we got to see how this team responds. Now it's do or die now. Lose and you go home. So the team plays tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. You're hoping that early start affects Stanford because they're on fake people time on the West Coast, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean that would be. Yeah, I guess I didn't even think about that, but that is true. That could be and bad. And
so Vish, you watched the Georgia Tech game. I did not. I was at work, and I just didn't feel the need to go back and watch that, looking at the score. But what would you say are the 3 biggest things Miami needs to do in order to beat Stanford tomorrow?
Well, I mean, they can't do any of the stuff they did.
Well,
they didn't do a single thing well. So,
yeah,
I mean, we can kind of put that to one side in terms of looking at the previous game and just got to flush that. I think actually that's probably job one, is just
forget about it.
Yeah, as Josh said, hopefully the momentum that you got to flush that. You don't want to lose that game twice.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big thing, just resetting. Like you said, this is a staff that's not used to they've never been here before, so they've got to kind of figure out how to deal with that. And then look, it is what it is, right? I mean, we've played this team. When we beat them, they shot 3 of 21 from 3, which is certainly kind of why we beat them. And so defend the 3-point line well, which we've not necessarily done this year. It's been more hit or miss. So I think that would be step one, because Stanford is a team that does shoot a lot of threes. And excuse me. And they're not that bad at it. So they attempt a lot and they make a lot. They are percentage wise, they're not great, but they do shoot a lot of them. So as we saw, so they volume shoot when they get in those streaks. It's going to be hard to defend. The second thing is obviously, we have a first team All SEC player for a reason. This is one where we need Shea to be big. She actually wasn't.
She struggled
Yeah,
against Stanford.
She wasn't in the first. She had a double, which was kind of farcical, but she made all her free throws.
She was 1 of 7 from the field, but she was 9 of 10 from the free throw line. So she definitely struggled against them.
Yeah, we can't have that
No.
because again, they're going to shoot better. So that's the second thing, and the third thing is just limit the turnovers. This team gets into trouble when they turn the ball over. I think sometimes try to play too fast. It's almost like it's like a bipolar team because on the one hand, we're trying to feed the ball into the post to our best player and run everything through her. And on the other hand, we're trying to push and fast break, which necessarily takes her out of the offense. So it's getting that right balance because we get into trouble when we just try to go fast for the sake of going fast, forcing things that aren't there, turning the ball over, and forcing things that aren't there also, not just the fast break, but also into the post. These teams swarm. Everyone knows where Shea Kyle. She's, again, first team All ACC, double machine. They're going to get bodies and traffic around her. You've got to take care of the basketball to feed the ball into the post correctly. If it's not there, drive it in, take advantage of the fact that they're crowded around her. That opens the rest of the lane up. Like, we got to be smart. We've been hit or miss on that.
Yeah. There's two big stats I want to note from the last time we played Stanford. One is that they actually out-rebounded us 38-32. They had 12 offensive rebounds. Can't allow that to happen. The second thing is that we actually forced 17 Stanford turnovers. In this game, we only had 9. For us to have single-digit turnovers is a big deal and is a big reason why we won that game because we took care of the ball, even with Shea struggling. Although her being our best free throw shooter, I'm going to say it again, that's such a luxury to have your center who's going to go to the line a lot be a good free throw shooter. And so despite getting out-rebounded, despite our center struggling from the field, we managed to win, and a big part of that was they had double the turnovers that we had.
Yeah, and 9 is not a great turnover number, but for us it is.
Single digits. I don't know how many games we've had single-digit turnovers, honestly.
Well, in terms of our turnover margin, we're right in the middle of the ACC. Stanford's a little bit worse than us, so. Yeah, I mean, we're a high turnover team. We know that. And so we just got to protect the basketball. Like I said, I think if we play smart, it'll be fine. I do think the game time, it's weird. I don't know who it'll affect more. I get what you're saying about how for them it's 8 a.m., but
I'm assuming they've probably been in Atlanta for a day or two.
Well, it's not in Atlanta. It's in Duluth, Georgia.
It's outside of
Atlanta's an actual city. Yeah. Duluth.
Whoever that is.
Yeah, you gotta be kidding me, ACC. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
What did they get? Like a block rate at the Motel 6?
I don't know where Stanford finished their season, but I know last year we talked about this because Miami last year, we didn't make the ACC tournament, so it didn't matter. But last year we finished on the West Coast at Cal and Stanford. And then the ACC tournament started 2 days later, which made absolutely no sense to send an East Coast team out to the West Coast the end of the season. Didn't have to come back to play in the ACC tournament. Didn't matter for us because we didn't make it anyway.
Yeah, we solved that problem. So
yeah, but it was just actually shout out to Coach Meyer because actually she's the one who mentioned it to us. We were sitting, I think when we were leaving after the Cal game, she mentioned.
Yeah, when we were all that was when we were all sitting in the Admirals Club.
Admirals Club, yeah.
Well, it was me, you, her. I think Wake Forest's golf team, Virginia Tech had a team there doing something.
Yeah, the ACC was all over the San Francisco.
Yeah, and we're all sitting there like, what the bleep are we doing out here?
If they win tomorrow, do you think it's a lock they make? No, they're not making the tournament.
Yeah, well, hold on. Do not read carefully.
But we'll make some type of postseason.
I think they'll be invited. I have no idea what the thinking is on whether or not they'll accept that.
So then the one after, so in women's now, it's not the NIT, it's the WBIT is like
that's
the next
the equivalence, right?
So that's actually the one we got invited to Coach Myers last year as a 1 seed because we were like the snub of the tournament. But we declined, obviously, because Coach Meyer was retiring. So Coach Culp alluded in an interview, I think maybe it was after our last home game. She alluded to playing in the postseason and some type of tournament. So I think if we do get invited to one, we are going to play. That's the way she made it sound. So we'll see, but we're not making the NCAA tournament unless we make
a lot
a
of
run
it
and win the
depends
tournament,
on
the ACC.
Yeah, but a lot of it depends on how that shakes out, right? Hosting WBIT games is you're gonna lose money on that, just to be transparent about it. The amount of money it costs to leave the facility, to open the facilities, and all the event staff and our attendance together combined leads to a loss of money. So I think it's fine to say intellectually you'd like to play in that. We'll see if there's a business decision made not to. Also, sometimes I've not looked at the Watsco Center schedule, but they'll know that the basketball season's over, which is when they bring in Disney on Ice and all this crap. I don't even know if we can. So there's all sorts of stuff, and maybe they'll just say we won't host and let the higher seed host. We've done stuff like that. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But as Melissa said, first things first, beat Stanford. I think we will get an invite somewhere anyway, even if we lose that game, because again, Stanford's a bubble team. We are going to finish above 500, which is the criteria. I don't know what the appetite is though for participating, but we'll cross that bridge probably in the next few days if we're being honest. So
honestly, regardless of the postseason play, tomorrow is a massive game. You finish the season getting blown out. It would be nice to get a win in conference tournament play. It would be the first one for the coaching staff. We have a lot of young players on this team. You hope that, a majority of them are going to stay with the program next year. Obviously, there's so much movement with the portal and NIL and everything. So we'll see what happens. But to me, this is like a super important game. I want this win. I think no matter what happens in the second round, I would like to say, hey, we have an ACC tournament win. To me, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's also, Josh earlier mentioned the momentum, and it's important to not go here and then lose again, and then finish the season having lost horribly on the road, and then turning around and losing as the higher seed in the first round of the ACC tournament. It's just not. The season started okay. There were some close losses to good teams. It fell apart in ACC play. They kind of recovered it to then blow it again and kind of lose that momentum into the offseason way back. If you get this win, no one's going to say, that'll kind of at least somewhat erase what happened on Sunday and then, take a punch at Notre Dame essentially. But you losing tomorrow, especially if it's not competitive, would just really, I would say, unwind a lot of the 4 games that they won in a row to kind of put themselves in this position, because
it just kind of puts a sour taste in your mouth going into the offseason.
Well, in addition to that, right? It's either Stanford or the Cal game, probably the Cal game, but those are the 2 best wins the Canes have by far, right? And if you're gonna go then and that was a 15-point win against a bubble team, which is something the Canes have not done a lot of. If you go from that to then playing that same team again and losing to them, it starts to wipe out some of the progress that's made. Just to be, honest about it. Like that's. So in that sense, this is one to obviously to keep the season, meaningfully going. Yeah, there's plenty of postseason tournament options, and hopefully that we'd like to see the Canes keep playing. So hopefully they'll play in some of those, but those are consolation tournaments, right? That's not really. These are the last games with actual stakes, and so you want to go out there and you want to go out swinging and go beat the shit out of Stanford again and move on to Notre Dame. And we all know how we feel about Notre Dame. Fuck them up. You got games in front of you, go win them. Like that's
Yeah.
my saying. I don't know if I said this on this show. It's probably more on the football side, but don't have the funeral before the patient's dead. We still have. I know it's basically impossible. Keep winning. Keep winning. The season keeps going.
Yeah.
And if you win enough, you go to the tournament, like the real one. So, as far as I'm concerned, if you're a player, a coach, or a fan, that's the mentality. Until it's done, it's not done. Now, are they going to actually go and run through all of these teams? Because after Notre Dame, it would be whoever the 4 seed is. I haven't even looked at it, but no, probably not. But
we don't get Destiny Harden running off 15 points in 5 minutes.
Yeah, but we didn't even win that tournament. So we lost the final. But
no one has to know that. Listen. That 5 minutes of that Louisville game in 2021 makes me so happy. I watched that. I watched those.
Yeah, but then we turned around, and that was the quarterfinal. We turned around and beat Notre Dame in the semis and lost a close game to NC State in the championship.
Yeah.
Then blew out South Florida in the first round and lost a tough game at South Carolina. But that was all. That
was terrible seeding for us, man. Getting South Carolina.
That's how we got stronger, which helped us the next year. So these are all building blocks. But no, you take out Stanford, take out Notre Dame, take out North Carolina State, take out Duke, and then take out whoever the hell else is left there, and just go win the damn thing. Just won 4 games in a row, win 5 games in a row.
Yeah, I mean it'll be hard, but one game at a time. Just keep winning.
Each game starts 0-0. So go out there. You've got the best center in the conference. Don't play like idiots. Play defense. Fight for every ball. We did not put any effort into that Georgia Tech game. They were up 37 and out hustling us to balls. Even though they had no reason to even try to run, they were still doing it. So, go out there and fight for every ball, fight for every possession. Punch them in the mouth. Don't let up. Move on to the next game. Do that 4 more times after that.
Yep.
And then wait for your seeding. Look, do I think it's going to happen? Of course not. But if you have any other mentality going into this, just don't even go. Come back to Miami, pack your shit up, and go. There's games to be played. Go win them. That's all you can do.
Yep.
Because there's no, as stupid as it sounds, there's no successful season unless they win the next fight.
Especially,
at least
for this podcast, with the 3 of us. I mean, Matt's not here, but we all picked them to finish top 4, top 5 in the ACC.
But
and so I mean, I hate to use the word letdown, but a lot low that what's happened was way below my expectations given what I thought the talent we had on this team. Obviously, we lost one of our bigs. I don't know how much that would affect what's happened, in the ACC play, but I had higher expectations than a 12 seed in the ACC tournament. So
I always go back to this, right? We can certainly be guilty of overvaluing players, but we were picked to finish 8th in this conference, not by us.
Well,
we finished 12th. That's 4 spots below. Last year, I think we were picked to finish 8th or 9th. We didn't even make the tournament. This is not. Look, I will say that prior to the Georgia Tech game, which they frankly erased a lot of goodwill they built up, they did a good job of at least putting a marker in the ground that things were starting to connect over here and that, there was a path forward. But if you look at the macro of the season, it's another disaster. And you can fix that. It's not going to be easy, but you can fix it. And again, that's got to be the mentality going in. The only way to make the season relative to not our expectations, but overall the expectations of where the ACC media put us is to win this tournament and basically be the 8th or 9th team in from the ACC, which is where they picked us to be. But, winning 2 games, upsetting Notre Dame and then getting run through by Duke or something, it's not exactly wow, well, that was great. That was a great 1 game, but why are we in that position, right? And so, yeah, I mean, again, we could have had an easier path. We had won on Sunday. We still haven't to play the same amount of games, but getting Wake Forest in the first game, then a Syracuse team who we lost to in a very close game, is certainly an easier path into the back half of the tournament. Stanford, Notre Dame, and if you win that, and Notre Dame did, as you said, we were competitive with them despite like so many turnovers. But then, after that, we'd take on NC State, who blew us out. And if we somehow win, that's Duke, who blew us out. So I mean, it's not easy, but the mentality has to be you got to win the next 5 games.
Yep.
No one comes in the season saying our goal this year is the WBIT. No one's doing that. So you know what? You have one chance to undo what has been, I would say, an underwhelming season overall. There's been moments, there's been bright spots. We avenged that Cal debacle from the end of last year, and potentially not Cal. They're on the bubble, like on the borderline in or out. And if they don't make it, it's probably because they lost to the 12th team in their conference. So, there's that.
I'm not heartbroken for them. I will tell you that.
Yeah, but I mean, so they're
that we saw in Berkeley last year with with the team's behavior, like. You won't see me shed a tear.
Yeah, no, and so I mean, there's been moments, and obviously, Rashay Kyle, she's only going to be here for the 1 year, making first team ACC is incredible. She's been great. So there's been bright spots, but this team has not gone where it needs to be, and one shot to do that, or I guess 5 shots to do that if they could keep it going. But
listen, one game at a time. Let's win tomorrow. Games at 11 a.m.
Listen, our season could be over.
I'll be asleep because I work tomorrow night, and Vish has a day job, so we won't have Twitter coverage because it's a Wednesday at 11 o'clock in the morning. So
oh man,
there will be. You're doing the buckets tomorrow night, right, with Matt?
Yeah, I'm just looking right now. So either way, because the Cal game, which is where we would be at 10 if we had won, that's at 1:30. So we weren't going to get a good time slot. Although later in the week if we win, it would be later. Anyway, we're doing buckets tomorrow.
Vish and Matt are going to do a show tomorrow post the SMU game. The men's team newly ranked 22 in the AP poll, first time this season, coming off a blowout win against Boston College. They play at SMU and then at home against Louisville on Saturday. These 2 games are super important. One for ACC tournament seeding. Currently, we sit in 3rd. One more win, I think, guarantees us a double bye.
Double bye. Yep.
2 wins, I think, guarantees us the 3 seed. But the double bye is huge, and so ideally you wanna win both games, but you definitely want to get one of them. And then also this is seeding for the NCAA tournament, because most brackets now have us at like a 99% to a lock to make the tournament.
Yeah, no, we're gonna make it for sure, because again, SMU's a bubble team.
Louisville's
probably in. Louisville's definitely in. So you're not gonna get into trouble for losing those games. Like, we're in. It would have taken losing the bubble.
That double bye makes
sense. You want the double bye, and to your point on NCAA tournament seeding, like you said, not only are we locked, we're starting to get into that 7 range. You can move up into the 6, potentially 5. We're just talking about this with the women, but an easier first round game. I mean, even a few weeks ago, we're looking at, okay, we're probably in. We're going to be like a 10 or 11 seed. Now we're on the other end of that equation. So, I mean, if you have to finish the deal, though, if you stumble and lose one or both of these games, lose early ACC tournament and fall back into that 9-10 range, all of a sudden, again, it's much tougher. First round game.
And we've talked about this a lot. I mean, obviously you want the double bye, it's less games, but like our team especially, we don't have depth. So the less we have to play, the better. So you definitely want the double bye. Hopefully we can lock that up tomorrow and beat SMU. SMU's a good team, and it's at their place. So Matt and Vish are you gonna tweet to cover it or no?
No, I'm gonna be at the light.
Okay, so there probably won't be live coverage, but there will be a post game after the conclusion of the baseball game.
Yeah, I'll be watching us play Cookmans.
So Matt and Vish will have that, and then probably Saturday.
No, we're doing next show. Next show is gonna be. I think we're gonna do.
You don't want to do a post game after Louisville?
We're going to baseball
Monday,
and we're going to baseball. We'll just do Monday.
Oh, that's right. We are going to baseball
because that way we'll have the ACC tournament like locked in.
Yeah.
Seeding
So
and all that.
Show tomorrow post baseball game to talk about the SMU matchup, and then the next show after that will be Monday.
ACC tournament preview.
We'll discuss the Louisville outcome plus preview the ACC tournament, and then if by some miracle the women win a bunch of games in a row, maybe we'll hop on at some point to do something. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I will say if the women are somehow still winning all the way through Melissa and I can probably do a late night.
But for sure,
Friday after baseball.
for sure tomorrow night you'll get Matt and Vish after the baseball game to talk about the SMU game, and then we'll be back on Monday to preview the ACC tournament. The Buckets March Madness bracketology show is going to be. When did we say March 17th? It's going to be a late night Buckets. It's probably going to start around 11 or 11:30 because just the West Coast people that we have on, Matt's two friends come on, and then Vish is actually flying back to Miami that night. So it'll be a late night bracketology show, but we'll break down the entire bracket. And what's exciting is that this will be the first time. It'll be our third year doing a bracketology show, but it'll be the first year where we actually have Miami in the bracket. Because this pod formed after the Final Four, and we have not been a tournament team since. So it'll be a lot of fun to see Miami's name on there, as well as our two guests who are one's a UCLA grad and one's a St. Mary's grad. So it's always a lot of fun. Those teams make the tournament a lot historically as well. So that'll happen. And then, again, women play tomorrow at 11 a.m. against Stanford, first round of the ACC tournament. Men play tomorrow night at SMU. Big ACC seeding and, national seeding on the line. Anything else to add? Oh, and if you're in Miami, the Canes baseball plays Bethune-Cookman tomorrow night. Head out to the light, get a milkshake, enjoy some Canes baseball.
Yeah, Cookman on Wednesday and then BC over the weekend, and also again the Met close out their home season against Louisville on Saturday. So definitely come out and support them. I'll just be blunt about it. The attendance, I know Boston College sucks. That attendance was kind of pathetic for a top 30 team at the time, which is now in the top 25. So
support the guys.
Get out there and support them on senior day. And yeah, let's finish the season strong and head into the ACC tournament and then eventually the NCAA tournament for the men. So.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting to have some postseason coverage to do that includes Miami. We haven't had that yet since forming the podcast, so I'm very excited. Shout out to Coach Lucas. Maybe we can get him on the pod in the off season.
I'm sure it's doable.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Anything else? Should we get going? Good luck to the ladies tomorrow.
Whoa, Josh is
Oh, wait, I guess he's going to the game tomorrow.
You're going, huh?
Awesome. Represent, Josh. I love it.
That was awesome. I assume you flew into Atlanta and then trekked hours outside the city to Duluth, Georgia. But yeah, good on you. That's awesome.
Yeah, we our away game trip for the women got derailed by snow. And
we were gonna do SMU. Yes.
We were gonna do SMU. I say I got derailed by the weather, but honestly, I probably wouldn't have gone anyway because I got super sick after the national championship. So probably wouldn't have been able to go, but it's better to blame it on the weather. So yeah. But
Don't cry. Don't cry.
What are you doing?
Sorry. I was scrolling over the things. I was waiting for you to cue it, and it just this whole fucking interface is.
Don't cry.
Anyway.
Please don't cry.
It was the remix.
I was like, I didn't even cue it yet, and you're already ready.
I literally
right.
just clicked over to the screen and started playing.
Josh, I hope you get a win tomorrow. Bring us back a dub. I'm assuming he's gonna stick around for the next game if we win. But yeah, good luck to the women tomorrow. And shout out again to Rashea Kyle, first team All ACC. That's awesome. Quite the honor. Love to see it. And Vish and Matt, we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Cue the Sox outro.
Don't cry. Keep it chill. Wear good socks.